everyone, today I'll be talking about my first impressions of Adobe Photoshop as someone who usually uses Medibang Paint Pro to digitally draw things. Some of the things I really struggled with to start off with, I did not understand how the clipping layers worked. I had to look for a lot of tutorials since there's something called like mask clipping that's on Photoshop, which is a completely different thing. But eventually I figured it out. The zoom in and zoom out, usually Medibang has like buttons for it in the very top right of the program, but in Photoshop you either have to go to the magnifier tool or go to navigation, which is like a bit of a change, I guess. Um, the mixing brush, I mean, it's a very cool feature. I mean, I really enjoyed that it's there, but I did not figure it out. I did not know how to blend colors with it, which is something I guess I'll figure out with time. Um, I don't really know where the snapping tools are, because in Medibang, you can just press and it'll give you like a stencil for a circle or a grid, and then I don't know where that is in Photoshop. Um, Another thing was that I could not find the add layer. So in Medibang, like they have different like blending modes, and like you can put like a layer on top of the other, and then when you press like a blending mode, it like makes it like brighter or darker depending on which one you chose. So I usually use the add layer for lighting, and I could not find the equivalent to that on Photoshop, which was really interesting. But Photoshop does have so much options for blending modes, which is really cool. I just couldn't find the one that's like really bright, like the Medibang's add layer. And this doesn't really count as like a negative thing, I guess, but it was something that I was super overwhelmed with, was like all of like the brush settings, because you can customize your brush in a lot of ways in Photoshop compared to Medibang. Some of the things that I really enjoyed about Photoshop to get away from all my struggles, I really liked shape brushes. I do think that there are a lot of shape brushes in Medibang, but like you usually have to make them yourselves. But in Photoshop, it already comes with a lot, and you can also download from other people a lot of like shape brushes, which look more organic when you're drawing, and they're also like, I guess, better for learning different things. So triangle and square brushes were probably my favorite. And yeah, there's just such a variety of brushes in Photoshop compared to Medibang, I guess. And I also like how Photoshop kind of offers pen tilt. I'm not sure if Medibang does. I've never heard of it being on Medibang, but pen tilt is basically when you can tilt your tablet pen, and it kind of works like a pencil in real life, where it gets more darker and more wider when you tilt your tablet pen. I really liked how the eraser you can kind of like I guess like pin like a brush to it, I guess, and use the brush as an eraser, except it's like transparent, if that makes sense. But in Medibang, like their eraser tool only offers like a hard edge. So like in Photoshop, I was able to like use the eraser at the back on like at the back of my pen, like I would be doing on like if I was using like a pencil on paper. And I really, really liked all the keyboard shortcuts I was able to like customize and use. So I think the one I used the most was like I made keyboard shortcuts for making the brush size bigger and smaller, because usually in Medibang I would have to go all the way to the left of the screen and tweak it. And I really liked the different like types of like transform options they had, because in Medibang you only get the standard transform and the mesh transform, which is not really that customizable, I guess, when you're trying to like change something in your drawing. But in Photoshop, they had one that was called like puppet transform, which I really liked. And yeah, those were some things I noticed. So anyways, for the past week, I've been learning kind of like Photoshop. I've also been learning Blender. That's something that might be, I mean, not anytime soon, but it will maybe become a thing on this channel, maybe in a couple months as I get better at it. I have also been updating my TikTok. I have been using Photoshop for my TikToks actually, but I was only like just tracing over things. I haven't been doing that much intense stuff on Photoshop until now. Um, but yeah, you guys should totally check out like the series I've been doing on TikTok. Um, and yeah, and as for this piece, I don't really know how I just came to the conclusion that I'm just gonna draw like a polar bear, I guess. Um, I didn't realize a polar bear would be a lot more difficult to draw, especially with the white fur. It's very hard to like paint white fur without making it look too like, I guess, dirty. And yeah. And I think the background was, I guess, pretty fun to make. It didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it, but I do think the sky turned out really pretty, especially with all like the different blending modes that Photoshop offered. I was able to make it like a variety of colors and such. But yeah, and it painting in Photoshop was just like I wasn't able to use very like blendy brushes because I did not understand how the mix brush kind of worked. But in Medibang, like you can already change like the regular brushes to be blendy or not. You don't have to like go into the mix brush or anything, which is like I don't know. It was something I had to adjust to. So it was very hard to kind of make the colors, especially on the polar bears fur, kind of work out. It was really hard to like show how like where parts were shaded. So like I guess like when I was trying to show like the back legs, it was very hard to like show that those parts were shaded, I guess. And yeah. I mean, I still like this piece, especially for my first digital painting ever in Photoshop. I think that it was very well done in my opinion. Um and as for the next video, I did say what I was gonna do a story time for the next video. Obviously that didn't work out, but I'm hoping that if I'm gonna free up some more time this week and I can probably think of a story time. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.